I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow.
You look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd.
Pressure is your best enemy. Spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack. You just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all. It all sounded like a dream. Remember how you kept on laughing. Now you're trapped in your own skin. The anxiety growing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night. It is time for the Friday night Smackdown Security Detail. We had got a recap right now of what happened last week. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Chris Best. Going to take you through the next 2 hours here. Should be expecting a run-in from OMD and from Parrish at some point in this episode. Oh, excuse me. I just ate dinner, so apologies for that. But right now we are looking at how Roman and Jimmy said Jimmy had told Roman that they need help. The crowd proceeded to, obviously last week, chant yeet. Roman took a look at the crowd, said no yeet. And then later on that night, we saw Jimmy square off against Solo in what was a fantastic match, by the way. Very enjoyable match. Then we saw Jacob Batu interfering. My bad. Giving Solo the win. However, Roman, the assault didn't end there as the Bloodline continued to assault Jimmy Uso, with Roman then coming to attempt to make the save. And I say attempt because the numbers game even caught up to Roman. As we see here, just that moonsault of Jacobs, man. That moonsault to Jacob Batu's is something else. And then you see Jimmy saying, do you see what I mean? We need him. And then Jimmy shows up on Raw as Jay walked to his locker room. Jimmy said, hey, can I speak to you for a moment? And Jay walked away. Jimmy then continued to look for him. And Jimmy did eventually find Jay, but Jay then responded by saying, look, I said no. But tonight, what if we do get that answer? We've got the Bloodline making their way to the ring right now. Solo alongside Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Batu. Gotta wonder what Solo has to say about all this, to be honest. I wonder, and I'm also wondering, what Roman and Jimmy are going to do. Do they call on the wise man like we suspect they may do? Do they Do they get to Jay through maybe Sami Zayn? Corey Graves and Wade Barrett calling the show. No Michael Cole. I thought Cole was an interesting dynamic here. I thought Cole called SmackDown, and we had Wade and Joe over on Raw. Uh, but Solo's got the microphone. Let's hear what he has to say. All right, so Solo putting out an ultimatum saying that the beatdowns at the Bloodline duo will continue. But right now, Jey Uso's coming out. This is intriguing, guys. This is very, very intriguing. All right, and up next we have a number one contenders triple threat match, a triple threat qualifying match, tag team to determine who exactly will be challenging for the tag team titles over on SmackDown. No, but so far this has been an interesting episode of SmackDown. And we are back to the action here, guys, after seeing another commercial for War Games in Vancouver. Yes, the Street Profits are now making their way to the ring for this triple threat tag team matchup. DIY and Pretty Deadly, sorry, are still hanging out in the ring right now. So the triple threat match is DIY, Pretty Deadly, and the Street Profits in this number one contenders match, which makes this one a little bit more interesting given that we've seen Street Profits and DIY in the last number one contenders matchup, and I believe I think it was Street Profits who won that one. I can't recall. And of course, on play by play, we got Corey Graves as our analyst, Wade Barrett, Byron Saxton as our backstage reporter, and Alicia Taylor is our ring announcer for tonight's show. Jessica Carr, by the way, is our official for this matchup. Oh, man. The air that Montez Ford gets off of that dive as he dove to the outside to take down both members of Pretty Deadly. Johnny was looking to do something, but Montez Ford is just never mind. I was gonna say Montez Ford is just all over everybody, but Tommaso Ciampa just put a stop to all that. And you got to excuse me here because I don't remember who's who of Pretty Deadly. So give me 1 second here. I'll figure this out. I hear a boop at the bottom of my screen. I see an OMD, and on the screen I see an OMD.
How we doing, brother?
I'm doing all good. The only thing you missed was the opening promo, which featured the Bloodline. Solo put out an ultimatum on Roman, saying that I'm going to keep beating you down until you acknowledge me.
Okay.
Jey Uso then showed up.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't catch what Jay had said because I had to answer an important text.
Okay, so I will have to check that out on the replay at 11.
Yeah. But right now, we triple threat tag team match is for a number one contendership to Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. I kind of want to see, as much as I love DIY, and you know how much I love Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep.
I'd like to see Pretty Deadly win.
You know what? I am with you there. But somehow I do see this breaking down, and it's going to be a 4-way. I would love to see Pretty Deadly win. I just can't see them really faring well or stacking up against
Tama and Tonga Loa.
Yeah.
Tama Tonga
and Tonga Loa.
Yeah.
The Tonga twins.
Why not just call them Tama Loa and Tonga Loa or something like that? You know?
Right.
We know that they're brothers. We know that they're twins. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, I was coming home and I got out of work. I was in the car before 5 after 8, and then I get to my corner and there's a train going by.
I was gonna say you're a little later than usual.
Yeah, there was a train going by, and I had to pay a very, very big visit to the locker room before the show. So,
And for the fifth time in a row today, I just saw the commercial for the latest Call of Duty game.
yeah, I've got it on right now. Because it comes out a week today.
I know, and I'm not going to have the money to buy it, but it is what it is.
Right? Bubba and I may download it to try it for the Boar's Nest, but I'm not making any promises.
Oh, Bubba and I will probably download it strictly so him and I can play online because I know you don't do the online stuff.
Yeah. But I have Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl set to download at the start of November, and then Indiana Jones at the start of December.
Speaking of video games, I made a new Saturday Night Gaming intro.
I saw that. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
And another promotion for War Games in Vancouver.
Of course. Speaking of interesting matches, there is one coming up. I can't remember what company it's for. But Jordan Grace will be competing against a lady named Vic Crow, whom we know better as Alicia Fox.
I've been wondering what happened to her. I'm not going to lie. I've been wondering where she's been. And I know that her real name is that stems from her real name, the Vic, because her real name is Victoria.
Yep.
And this match did break down as we were back to the action here. All 6 of them are brawling in the ring right now. Jessica Carr has kind of lost control in this match.
Oh, we are getting another triple threat match later on tonight as well.
Yeah, it's a number one contenders like tournament thing again.
Right.
Which I'm fine with doing it this way because right now we've got the two top teams who would be considered in that number one contender spot in this match. And I'm talking about the Street Profits and DIY.
Yeah.
But as I said, I kind of want to see Pretty Deadly make that advance.
Right? Well, if we're going to get another team coming in and we're getting another triple threat match, then I could actually see Pretty Deadly pull this one out.
Right. That's what I was trying to say. I'd like to see them advance and not necessarily win the number one contendership, but to just put everybody on notice, that, hey, we may dress like the way we do dress, but we are serious contenders,
Yep.
Huh. Oh. You just missed a very interesting finish because you're staring at your phone.
Well, I was looking up that article.
They're showing the finish right now in the replay anyways. Did you see how that match came to an end?
Up right now.
Yeah.
Yep, both had the cover.
And
But ref Jessica Carr said Montez Ford was not the legal man.
Right, but the way that ended could lead to
Oh, absolutely.
the Street Profits maybe getting jealous if DIY should advance to fight for the tag titles.
Yep.
Maybe. Also in tag team action tonight, Bailey and Naomi are taking on Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton.
Okay.
One has to wonder if Liv Morgan's going to make her presence felt after what happened to her on Raw.
Right?
So I see I got a commercial for the pizza from Tim Hortons. Have you ever tried it yet?
I have.
What did you think of it? Because I have yet to try it.
It's all right. Apparently, right now they've got a promo on 2 of them for $12.
Yeah, that's the promo I'm seeing.
My boss actually bought 2 yesterday for $12 and then gave me one to bring home. So that's what I had for supper last night. So I'm actually tired of pizza right now because I've just had pizza the last 3 days, not counting today.
I can understand that. I can totally understand that. Because no word of a lie, over the summer I got tired of pizza too. Because on certain days, the Salvation Army gives away free meals, and usually when I'm downtown around the time that they're doing that, I'll go and pick up a free meal for myself, so I don't have to cook dinner that night.
Right.
And sometimes they'll give away the free pizzas from Little Caesars.
Right.
And it got to a point where I got tired of pizza too.
Absolutely. I used to do it a number of years ago. Every payday, I would order pizza and wedges from Primo's, so I got tired of it, and I had to actually go off pizza for a while completely.
Dude, that was me when I worked at the call center downtown. NCO, RMH, both of them I worked at.
Yep.
That was me too, because every payday, go to the mall and get McDonald's. And then it got to a point where I'm like, I'm in a food court. Why am I just going to McDonald's? I've got Subway, there's KFC, Tim Hortons, Ricardo is on the all the way on the other side.
Yep.
Subway. Why am I just going to McDonald's?
Yep. And that's why I hit the point of saying the other night that now to me, all pizza, especially if you're going to the chains, tastes the same. If you're going to our locals, hands down, I'm going to take the local over the chain.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why I was making fun of you for Pizza Hut is because I can't do Pizza Hut. It doesn't matter which Pizza Hut I go to, I get food poisoning.
Really?
Yeah. With one exception, and that particular Pizza Hut's no longer around, but it was a Pizza Hut that Carl and I visited when we went to Toronto for SummerSlam.
Right.
That was the only exception, but every other time, I get food poisoning.
I mean, I will. For me, Domino's is the lowest on the totem pole for takeout pizzas.
Yeah, Domino's is like 5th, maybe, in my top 5 chain pizza joints.
I mean, don't get me wrong, because Little Caesars is pretty much right there with it.
But you can't deny those $5 hot and ready pizzas when you're hungry and don't want to cook, you know?
Well, now they're $8.
Oh. Stupid inflation.
Yep. But yeah, no, you're right. But see, of the takeout pizza joints, the best one we ever had, and I miss it. I know a lot of people said, "How can you beat it?" Was 2 for $1.
Dude, I love 2 for $1.
Right?
Yeah. It's how I discovered the mixture of my 2 favorite toppings. As right now, I've got Jimmy and Roman making their way into the arena.
Okay, well, I'm still getting the tribute for the Hurricanes.
Wait a second here.
We have a run-in parish.
We do. We have Jey Uso.
So we still get a no yeet out of. Oh, sorry. How's it going, Parrish?
Not bad. How are you?
Oh, not bad, not bad. My creative bone was tickling me today, so I made my Saturday Night Gaming intro.
I don't need to know what bone tickles you, my friend. We got Smackdown and we got the women's champion on the screen. So, how did it feel seeing the Motor City Machine Guns debut?
Hasn't happened yet. I already told OMD what started the show.
Oh no,
I haven't seen the contract signing either yet.
No, I saw it on Twitter, but no, we haven't seen him wrestle, but we've seen him on TV.
I didn't see it yet. I wasn't here. I got in at like 25 after.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I didn't see it on the show.
I didn't see it on Twitter either, so.
I haven't seen it on social media yet.
But what I am seeing is Piper Niven, her Titantron, so I wonder. Oh, it's got to be, yeah, it is her and Chelsea making it to the ring.
No.
If you will.
Well, you need to let me do it organically, Bess. I just don't do what you tell me to do, all right? I'm not a puppet, all right?
I was trying to lead you into it, but okay.
I was getting there, and then you just kept going. You shot the shot too quickly. But it looks like Piper Niven is the only one participating in a match tonight.
That it does.
But she is accompanied by Chelsea Green.
As she always is.
And she's going up against Flash Legend.
Why?
That's, I'd like to ask that same question too.
I don't know. I know next week on, I believe it's next week on NXT, we're getting Damage Control against Metaphor, but I could be wrong. It could be on Raw.
Yeah, I'm just curious to why we're getting so much Flash Legend and Jakara Jackson on the main roster all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like, I guess it's for them to be a part of something, but again, like I just feel like we have so many other people that they're not using.
And I don't think they're ready for main roster.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be honest, out of Meta-4, the one person I think I would bring to the main roster out of them is Noam Dar, maybe.
I don't know if it's like a matter of being ready or not. It's just, it's why. Like, what's the rationale to them? Like, do they not want to go after like the NXT titles or do something in NXT? Like, there are 2 women's titles. Don't they want to go after that in NXT? When they want to invite these tag teams to NXT and showcase why NXT is superior to their division?
All valid points, really, in that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just. Has it been established that there is a working and talent relationship between Ava Raine and Nick Aldis?
Not
Not
that I'm
that-
aware of.
No, because any interaction I've seen between the two is more like hey, how are you kind of thing, you know?
Yep. Other than the fact that Ava has basically said now she is retired from wrestling and is content being an on-screen character.
Or was she ever an in-ring competitor to begin with?
Not really.
She's had not really. She's had a few matches, but
But good on her for doing just the on-screen character thing, because she's much better at that than
It's like saying Ricky from Seattle is a bona fide main eventer in WWE.
well, he is.
absolutely he is.
With his 0 matches?
Absolutely.
You forgot that he never really had a match, eh?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Ricky for world champ.
Rookie for 24/7.
Ricky for Prime Minister.
I think Ricky should have.
He is from
been the one-
Seattle. He is not eligible. Damn it, Best.
Ricky from Seattle should have been the one to end Bryan Danielson's career.
Ricky from Seattle should have been the one to end the Undertaker streak.
Ricky from Seattle is the one who should have replaced Joe Biden. There, we'll meet halfway.
Yeah.
I forgot she still acts. I don't know her actual name, but it's the mom from Liar Liar. Yeah.
The movie with Frankie Muniz, right? Or no, that's Big Fat Liar.
Jim Carrey, bro.
Oh. Fuck, I can't remember. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of her name. Jennifer, or no, not Jennifer Tilly.
No. No, she is from Liar Liar, but
Yeah.
hey, good timing on the restart. Thank you. Freaking. You ran into a problem. Yes, you. You are my problem, computer. Oh, I would have smacked her for grabbing my hair like that. Why are the tag champs sitting front row and not at ringside? Or even on commentary?
I don't know.
I've been
Get
trying
them a
to
little bit
ponder
of
that.
screen time, but they have no.
I was trying to ponder that question myself.
And Jade took her hair extensions out for tonight.
Is it me or does Jakara Jackson just move around a little too much when trying to deliver moves?
Well, that just shows the kind of the inexperience and not knowing less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I don't really like the strikes that she was given. They're just
That's
open-headed slaps. It's like you can't throw a punch or a forearm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said that was Jakara Jackson. That's Lash Legend in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the best move I've ever seen Lash Legend do was catch Piper in that for that slam.
I don't understand that finish, but okay.
This whole match lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Lash should have won that match.
It's to me, I don't even understand the match to begin with. If the whole idea is to bring Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend towards the tag team championships, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But have this be on NXT. I think it's very awkward to do this on SmackDown.
I think that's the vibe I'm getting too, because I really think it in this situation, Piper should have taken the win.
I think so too. I was hoping for a squash match for Piper. For me, Lash Legend is the equivalent of Parrish's favorite female wrestler, Dana Brooke.
She's no longer existing. Thank God.
So, AKA Ash by Elegance, but Michael Vasquez came in saying, nice.
Yeah, he came in. That comment was there hours ago for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was before I even showed up.
That was before I even built the room. I don't even know how that comment got there.
Oh, okay. And I'm only just seeing it.
Well, that's when you actually make the room and it's on as like a scheduled event, people can still leave messages.
I suppose so, but I didn't make the room at 20 after 8 in the morning.
No, but they can still just if it's on the turnbuckle, if it's on the turnbuckle YouTube, like it'll still stay. Okay, what do you say? Let's do that. Yeah, I just feel like there's other ways you can get to the same result.
Mm-hmm.
But like again, like if this was an attempt to try to get them to see if they're ready, I understand that.
Yeah.
But there is a segment that needs to be there. Or something. Like there needs to be a segment with like Ava or with Nick Aldis and be like, hey, we want to try something like we want like a I don't know, like a tryout or like a SmackDown tryout or something. And it's like, okay, and we're going to give them like a 1 month tryout kind of a thing here on SmackDown. Let's see what they do. And if they impress, then we'll do a talent exchange between the two brands.
Right.
There we go. I think I just settled this. Made it make sense a little bit more, but
Yeah, you did.
that's not the case of what we got. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the tribal chief in the locker room right now. Does anybody else think that that's just a setup? What Roman had said for sure.
Yeah, right? Okay.
And it makes me wonder if the interaction between Jimmy, Roman, and Jay is also part of the setup.
I don't know if that's the setup, simply because I do think that there is money there. Getting, of all people, Jay to get back on board, I think there's money there.
Mm-hmm.
There is a large story there. And then you think about, are we going to see Sammy back?
Right.
They've acknowledged, pun intended, the wise man, Paul Heyman. They've said,
Honestly, I think Sammy's going to be the first guy to jump back in ahead of Jay.
well, and this is where I'm thinking. I have a feeling maybe Sammy is along the same lines because he has a very similar history with as Jay does, right?
Yep.
I think them acknowledging and Roman saying, if the wise man was here, this would be done by now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a telling sign that they need to bring back Paul Heyman first, and then the other dominoes will fall.
Yeah.
Which was something that I brought up last week, but I'm actually very happy because that's exactly, I think, the right way of connecting everything. But I think Jay really acknowledging Roman again, or having them on the same page, and then having Sammy kind of follow suit, like that's a big moment, and I think those are moments you got to build up to.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to point this out. Do you know the last two matches that Jimmy Uso had have been both against his brothers?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he wrestled Jay on, was it night one of WrestleMania? Or was it
Yep.
night two? It was night one, right?
Yeah, night one.
Yeah. And then Solo last week.
Now, before we kind of get into the promo, what are your guys' thoughts about the actual design of that title?
I'm still not a big fan of it, but
That is one of the most hideous titles I've ever seen.
I've been hearing a lot of like yay or nay. Regardless of whether or not like you care about this title. That's not the question. I don't hate the design. I think there's too much diamonds and not enough. There's too much sparkle away from the design.
Absolutely.
But I still don't dislike the design. I'm also not a big fan of the sparkle gold green. It's too bright. There's not enough dark to complement.
It's almost reminiscent, at least to me, of a over-glorified 24/7 title.
it looks too much like the AEW belt to me.
I personally, I think it's completely irrelevant.
Actually, Now that's a very intriguing cliffhanger.
Very intriguing indeed. I had to rewind a little bit so I can listen to the promo.
Yep.
Thank you, Pepper, but I don't need my notepads opened.
Yes, you do.
If
According to
Pepper
her,
tells
I
you
do.
you need, yeah, exactly. If Pepper tells you,
If you get a command from Pepper, don't get salty.
no, a very intriguing segment there between, well, from Kevin Owens and then leading into the Randy Orton and Nick Aldis conversation.
I mean, we all know who Randy's going to try to talk to about getting that match.
Yep. And we know that it has to do potentially with Kevin Owens' contract expiring. Although I have heard as of today he has potentially already signed.
There has been a lot of rumors out there of what he's doing. The major reports have yet to confirm on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
So
I heard one today that said the deal may have actually been done back in August, but nothing has been confirmed as of yet. But I also read another report that would have Kevin Owens and Cody in the main event of Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, and see, I read from the major ones that nothing has been set in stone for matches for the main event yet.
No, nothing has. It was a rumor, as well as Jesse Ventura will be there, but in what capacity we don't know. He will not be calling the full show.
No, it's speculated that he's going to be doing like the backstage interviews or something like that, or at least that's what I read.
Yeah, he might be doing some backstage, but maybe do one match, but he will not be commentating the whole show.
If it were me, I would just have him be like a guest host of the show.
What I could see him doing is potentially introduce a returning Brock Lesnar.
if I was WWE, I think if there is a for sure contract between them and Lesnar, I think you do it in I think you do it on the Netflix episode of Raw.
Okay. I can see that.
That is going to be the show of shows because it's
Mhm.
going to be large. It's going to be
Yeah.
just an episode of Raw or WWE broadcasting that is going to completely change our way of experiencing WWE.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're going to do anything of note, I mean, that's the show to do it.
That was a fair sized pop for them.
So I'm hoping, because I think we all know the guns are going to go over.
Obviously.
I think I have it on A-Town Down Under, and I do what I can right now to kind of not allow Los Garza to take the fall here. And I think that's important for what you're doing long term.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to keep Los Garza a little bit more on the protected side in this match, simply because they are a fresh team outside. Plus, if you are to put the titles on Motor City Machine Gun down the road, Los Garza can say, well, you may have beaten us, but you never actually pinned or defeated us. So there would be your team to challenge them right off the bat. And I think that's something I would do.
You could also put Street Profits in there based off of how that triple threat match earlier tonight ended.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't here, so please do tell. How did that match end?
So it ended with DIY and Street Profits both getting the pin. However, Jessica Carr, the referee, counted DIY's pin, leaving Street Profits to be a little bit on the upsets and frustrated side of things.
Yes, she did say that Ciampa was the legal man and Montez Ford was not.
No, I mean, clearly this is their way of wanting to do DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns. Mm-hmm. So maybe, just maybe, we see the Street Profits cost DIY the match.
That's where I'm going with that as well.
Yeah.
The one thing I am actually looking forward to is Alex Shelley, even though in his TNA run and even in the Ring of Honor, the latter Ring of Honor run that he did, we haven't necessarily seen the technical side of Alex Shelley to the extent of what he has done in the past.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping he brings that out a bit more. And that's something that, you know, inside WWE, they're going to allow him to maybe showcase, because I thought when it came to the mat technician side, he, at his time in that early 2000s, really was very creative in his offense. And I thought that was a very early indication of how kind of the offensive aspect kind of started in Ring of Honor.
I will 100% agree with you on that one. What I want to see from Saban on this side, though, is I want to see Saban's innovative style come back.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's something that they did right away, like right at their beginning of the tag, right? You had your technical side, you had your fast-paced action of Saban, and then when you mixed it together, you got that combination, and that kind of allowed that creative offense that they are known for. So,
Yeah.
In a weird way, it's a fresh start for them, and I'm like, I think it's safe to say now that whole what you did outside of WWE can't be used in WWE. I think that whole thing is completely out the window, as just in the last week we have seen the word war once again appear on WWE TV, and now we have machine gun, which was something that they didn't originally allow Carl Anderson to use when he debuted with the WWE.
So they did not.
Mm-hmm.
I think times have changed. I think the product has definitely changed. And this narrative that what you do outside of WWE you can't do, I think that's changed.
Well, I mean, they resorted to calling the fans, or the WWE Universe as they used to be called. They've now called them the fans again.
And here's the thing, though. I don't even dislike the term WWE Universe.
Me neither, to be honest with you.
I thought that's a great way of connecting your fan base.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like, of all things, like, no, that's not even like close to the worst thing I've heard them do. Now, it's better than Universal Title.
Right.
And what did they call they changed access to something? Like WWE World.
Yeah.
It's better than that. You know, for a lot of flack of like Austin Theory, or not Austin Theory, but Grayson Waller, for what he always got like over time with his wrestling abilities, the guy has found himself to be in the ring with a lot of different wrestlers over his tenure so far.
Right.
And he does not look out of place against any single one of them.
Oh,
No.
absolutely not. What I see out of Grayson Waller is just how much he improves with each match he wrestles.
Yeah.
And I think that just is a great sign of confidence too, and what that does for someone. And I'm going to say this: I think pairing him up with Austin Theory has done wonders for not only his in-ring abilities, but the confidence and just his mannerisms on a day-to-day, and how to be comfortable inside that ring.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about your creative offense, that was definitely creative.
Oh no, 1,000% that was. I'm loving what I'm seeing in this match. It's making me think of like mid 2000s TNA, and that's not a bad thing, you know. Like nowhere to lie, when the TNA game that came out for PS3 back in 09 or whatever year it was.
Yeah.
The first wrestlers I played as were Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. in Ultimate X match because I had to try the Ultimate X match, you know.
Right.
Oh, you landed that awkward. Oh, that was very awkward. Of a land. Now, for Alex Shelley, that was not his first match inside WWE, but for Chris Sabin, that was. I think there is a sense of excitement on Chris Sabin, but also it looks like there was a sign of redemption for Alex Shelley.
Yes, because I can't remember if it was a Dusty Classic or if it was another tag team tournament and they put the time splitters.
Yeah, it was a Dusty Tag Team Classic.
It was Dusty?
Yeah. I thought you were also talking about the time that Shelley worked as a jobber on, I believe it was like Velocity many moons ago.
I don't really count that as like really anything like big because they weren't contracted at the time.
No, they were just Here you are. You're going to do this job, but we'll give you a few $100 for it. You know.
Yeah, I'm not going to count the one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like counting AJ Styles against the Hurricane on Heat or like all that stuff, and it's like no, his Royal Rumble was his official debut match.
Or even Bryan Danielson in his match with John Cena on Velocity.
Naomi has some gear that really reminds me of Sin Cara.
Yeah,
I see it.
It's very random to me. Like her jacket, not so much. But the gear, 100%.
Yep. I see it.
And now we see Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell kind of in that little segment there. That's what the upcoming tag match is: Nia and Candice versus Bayley and Naomi. Mm-hmm. Candice and Indy are 100% an example of what I was talking about earlier. People that they could have used in that tag team situation.
Absolutely.
Another person that they could use in this spot is, Michin, and find somebody to tag with her. Like, there is so many different amount of options that they have. I was just very confused with why they decided to choose Jakara and Lash. Not that I dislike them. It's just, I just don't understand the decision. But again, like if it's just a matter of we want to give them a shot, okay, I get it. But give me a reason to why they are all of a sudden just appearing on SmackDown.
Right, and I'm 100% starting to agree with you on that one because I'm thinking of other ways that you could have gone that way, and yeah, you could have gone that way with them on NXT. Give them a dominant run and build them to a possible tag title match.
Well, and even just have a segment on NXT saying that they are going to be at SmackDown. They are challenging. Like maybe you have Lash challenging Piper Niven. And like offering the tag champs a front row seat to watch them or to watch her make a statement on their show. Like something. And maybe they did. I don't know. I did not watch NXT. Not in its whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to find if I can find anything more about the status of Kevin Owens, and it's something that obviously that if it was a for sure deal, there's obvious sources on Twitter that you would see that they would have said something by now, whether it's Fightful, whether it's WrestleOps, WrestleVotes, like one of those, or even if it's other people, even our good friend Tom Colley, who would have said something by now about it.
And I haven't even seen anything out of Colley, so
yeah, and it's one of those things where I'm not doubting that maybe it has been done, but I'm just assuming it's something that's going to be kept secretive.
And that's the one thing I can respect out of Triple H is he has tried to keep contract signings to a minimum, like the leaks, to a minimum.
Well, it makes sense if what you're doing with Kevin Owens is I work here, but I'm not happy here. Maybe I'll consider leaving. And it's kind of a fresher, more modern spin on kind of how what CM Punk did back in, what was it, 2012, 2013?
2011.
Yeah, so yeah, like it's something there that kind of see how it goes, because
Yeah, on WrestlingNewsSource.com, it is being said that a new update suggests that a deal may already be in place. According to Meltzer in Wrestling Observer newsletter, some speculate that Owens might have signed a new deal as early as August. However, there has been no official confirmation regarding the status.
So that's really Meltzer saying, I don't know if he did.
also I'm very hesitant of saying may have, and it's like if you're wording, if you're gonna, I'm sorry, I believe what you're saying. It's more of I'm trashing the way they word their stuff. How unsure of what you're posting can you actually sound like, well, he may have done this. It's like, okay, well, he may have not.
And apparently,
it's such a
because if you
balls with what you put out, man.
If you ever listen to how Meltzer talks, he always says may have or I don't know and all that kind of thing. So like the stuff that he says, you got to take it with a bit of a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people who report his stuff as gospel.
Well, it's easy. Be like, oh, there's rumors circulating that Kevin Owens may have assigned a contract back in August, and it remains to be secretive if whether or not that is true. We are looking at what we can. We can't confirm whether or not he has signed anything. We can't confirm whether he has not signed anything, but we'll let you know as soon as we find out. That's a way better way of saying we don't know, but there's something that could be going on.
Right. As well, announced today that NXT will be going to a legendary venue in wrestling and in the city of Philadelphia next year.
Part of me really wanted you to go legend, wait for it. Just because Best and I were talking about How I Met Your Mother yesterday.
No, NXT apparently going to the 2300 arena in Philadelphia.
Which is interesting because that has become MLW territory lately.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time WWE's just trying to take something away from MLW.
Yeah.
And TNA does about 6 weeks of shows there a year, and
Yeah.
Yeah, but TNA and MLW don't have any issues with each other.
no,
But this match here, this was originally scheduled to be Bailey and Naomi taking on Nia and Tiffy.
yep.
I have a feeling Tiff and Stratton may cash in on Nia at Crown Jewel.
You think so?
Or at least we're gonna get a giant tease. Like it's one or the other. Like if the plan, it all depends on what event they want her to cash in on. It's either gonna be Crown Jewel or one of like a big four, like a Survivor Series or something like that.
I'm going to pose this. What if she goes in and, to your point, she cashes in the middle of that match? So whichever one she pins, she's going to get the belt. Then she also gets the Crown Jewel Championship.
I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I think that'd be hilarious, actually. But on that case, it'd be very... Does she ask her new tag team partner, Rhea, to help her out? And be like, I'll keep Liv open for you if you just help me with 9.
Right?
I do got to say, I do appreciate Candice LeRae's actually getting some TV time, though.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice to see not only her becoming the first speed champion, and get that opportunity, but also, yeah, just get an opportunity on SmackDown and do a little bit kind of. She's in the ring with the women's champion, and really the top contenders for that championship.
Mm-hmm. And right now, and from what I'm seeing, she's proving that she can hang with them.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody had that worry. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of, it's hard to show that you are on that level if you don't have the opportunity to do something. But I'm just very, the more I see of just Candice, the more makes me wonder why
Wow.
Indy's really there. And I know we're seeing her get involved, but it just makes me feel like, okay, well, Indy can also work, and you're not really letting it.
I didn't expect that finish.
No. But now, if you're Nia Jax, are you worried that there's another person vying for your championship?
Oh, 100% I would be.
Absolutely.
I mean, Candice did make the motion that she wants a shot at the belt.
Yep.
You want a match that's going to make you feel like early TNA? Well, DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns is going to do just that.
Exactly. Right? Okay, so a match that we were supposed to get tonight is being moved to next week. That's the best of 7 between Andrade and Carmelo.
Well, they're not saying it's a best of 7. They're saying it's part 7.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of nice that, it's developed into something, which I guarantee that wasn't the original thing or the idea.
LA Knight is so good on promos.
Yeah, but he lacks people skills.
He does.
OTC, which is Roman's early predictions that the Oilers take cup. So, Roman, good job. Keeping that Edmonton sports roots in his bloodline. Yes, he is. Why the hesitation, Chris? You either do or you don't.
I do acknowledge him.
Do we see the return of Paul Heyman tonight?
I think there's a lot of people to factor in. Do we see something with Jay? Do we see something with Jimmy and Roman getting maybe a one up there? Do we see Heyman? Do we see The Rock? Do we see Hikuleo? Do we see maybe Sammy? Who knows?
Right?
I highly doubt Sammy because we haven't had anything to really go in that route yet. But
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
starting to believe that because Jay didn't really leave the building tonight. I'm starting to think that we could see Jay involved in this situation.
Well, we heard the teases about Paul Heyman and the Wise Man with Jimmy being in his spot earlier. That's why I'm asking, do we see Paul Heyman come back, or do we see maybe potentially Paul Heyman on Raw trying to talk to Sammy or trying to talk to Jay?
what I'd like to see is honestly Sammy and Jay have a backstage segment and like just talk. And then maybe they're talking kind of very similar to they're just talking in the hallway.
Right.
And all of a sudden you see maybe just them going to a locker room, and something we've been seeing very much recently, a lot lately, is you open the door to a locker room and you see somebody that you weren't expecting.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Now,
here's something I would do. They then go in the locker room and see Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman is like,
right.
we need to talk. And that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Right. Now, and I like it exactly where you're going, but I'm wondering if maybe we do see that interaction, but maybe we see Jimmy approach Sammy first. Because Sammy will be maybe not necessarily a little more open, but maybe a little more receptive to actually listening. Because it was Jimmy that originally had his back while Jay didn't like him in the bloodline.
What I think you can go one or two ways. You can have Jay and Sammy look, and you can have Jay be like, "Can you honestly expect what my brother and cousin expect from me?" Or you can have Sammy go, "Dude, what are you doing thinking about going to SmackDown and getting involved in that? Don't you remember what they did to you?" Like you can have one of both ways initiate it.
Right.
And I think you can go either way. I really do, because I don't think it really matters who initiates it. I think it all matters on what comes out of when they do get into a conversation. What comes out of that? Like, does somebody come in like a Paul Heyman? Do we see Roman and Jay go to Raw?
Right.
And like maybe they walk in and you see like a boardroom and there's like or just a table and you see Roman, you see Jay, you see Paul Heyman. And it could be decked out with all the stuff that they've done together. I don't know.
Wow, that's how we go out on SmackDown. I find it interesting that it's been a little over 4 years since the Bloodline started, and here we are still invested in the Bloodline.
Absolutely.
I knew if we're gonna get Jey Uso, it's gonna be a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think this now gives Roman and Jimmy nothing but complete desperation.
To the point where they have to call on the wise man, maybe.
No, I don't think they have to call on him. I don't think it's a matter of they have to call on him. What made you think like they have been separated? I don't think Paul Heyman and Roman and Jimmy have been separated.
Oh no.
I don't think there's a separation between them. I think there's just a separation of where they are. It's just a matter of Roman Reigns said if the wise man was here, this would already have been done. I think that's a foreshadow that what we see is that both Jimmy and Roman know that when they were at their greatest, it was with Jay and it was with Sammy. And they need Paul Heyman there because if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, he wouldn't have put the pieces together. He's the one who did it the first time around. He's the one that needs to do it this time around.
By the way, all night on the commentary team, conspicuous by his absence, where was Michael Cole? I tried to look up to see why Michael was in calling tonight's show, but couldn't find anything.
No.
Well, I mean, this marks what, the third show he's missed in his 26 years?
Fourth.
Yeah. OMD's keeping count, apparently.
I think it's 3.
No, because he did miss one earlier this year that he had booked off.
Okay, and then where are the other 2 then?
He had 2 prior to that. I don't remember when. They were years back.
Well, unless you give me actual valuable things, I mean, I don't know. All I know, it's being reported online that it's 3.
We've got Bobby Stats coming in right at the end of our show saying, hello, guys. How's it going, Bobby? Glad to have you here, even though we're about to say our goodbyes.
Bobby, how many shows, including tonight, has Michael Cole missed in 26 years? Let us know. if anybody would know, I think you would. Yeah, but I'm very I'm curious to see why. I mean, he deserves time off just like anybody else. Oh, I guess we'll never know. I guess maybe next week we'll find out more.
Yep.
But on that note, gentlemen, what did you guys overall think of the show as a whole this week?
I quite enjoyed it. I know I missed the opening promo, which I'll catch at 11 o'clock. But fantastic. Excellent storytelling. Flowed well. And, lots of intriguing questions because now you've got LA Knight as a guest ref next week. You've had Candice LeRae, who got rare TV time, pick up a win over Bayley. So I'm intrigued to see where this is all going and what it's all leading to.
Yeah. with Bobby coming in and saying it's nice to see the Motor City Machine Guns, and that's exactly right. Like we're seeing a complete, we're just seeing new blood in the tag team division, and now the tag team division is taking notice. We thought we were just going to get Los Garza versus, Motor City Machine Guns. No. What we saw was something completely different. We saw a one-day tournament with 6 teams getting an opportunity to vie for a number one contendership to the tag team titles. And then now we have DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns set to face off next week to determine the new number one contenders. So not only did we see the Motor City Machine Guns kind of reload a new round into the tag division on SmackDown, we also saw Nick Aldis kind of take shape of what the tag division is going to look like moving forward. And then on top of that, like you said, OMD, we're seeing Candice LeRae kind of be new blood into the WWE women's scene. We're getting a little bit more of a direction with Roman and Jimmy. They cannot do anything collectively as just the two of them. They can't even make it if they try against the bloodline. So what do they do? Who do they do? Are they desperate enough to go after or to go back to their past? Is that what they want to do? Who knows? We'll see. And then, as you said, we have a best of 7 that's going to take place tomorrow or next week. And we have LA Knight now as a guest referee. We saw Lash Legend again on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Bobby, if you can tell me the sense of it, I'd be curious because I'm still a little bit on the befuddled side of things, but we saw a lot in just 2 hours. And I think for a lot of people who wondered how Raw is going to do in 2 hours, well, right now SmackDown is giving you kind of the breakdown of how to hit home run week after week after week.
Yeah. And I know I titled this episode Looking for an Answer because there were several answers we did get tonight, but it left us with even more questions.
Yes, and one of the things I noticed as well, even though we didn't see him a whole lot, was really Nick Aldis starting to get his temper up and starting to maybe get a little more aggressive, maybe a little more Adam Pearce-ish.
We're definitely seeing Nick Aldis get tested. But it's one of those things where he has to put his foot down every now and then. And we saw that with Randy Orton, and we saw even that with that segment with Kevin Owens too, some development there.
Yep, as well as the Andrade Mello.
Yeah, and then we also have some stuff going on with Cody and Gunther, as Gunther is invited to SmackDown next week. So it's shaping up. Everything is moving very fluently on SmackDown.
Yeah, and like I said, I titled this episode "Looking for an Answer." We got some answers tonight, but we also left us with more questions.
Yeah,
I totally enjoyed tonight's show. I loved the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns. And it was a way that they made it make sense too, because I know OMD, you usually have a problem with hot-shotting new teams into the tag team title scene, but doing it through the tournament way made it make sense.
It did, and. In the case of the Motor City Machine Guns, having followed them through TNA, their little bits of time in Ring of Honor, little bits together in Japan as well, I can understand them sort of getting pushed to the forefront. But like you best, I would have liked to maybe see a pretty deadly win that first match as opposed to a DIY so that you get that other new team in there. And then you're going to get pretty deadly versus the Machine Guns.
But now I understand why DIY. Because if you want to give Motor City Machine Guns some hot matches, you got to give them guys like DIY. You can get a hot match out of Pretty Deadly, but DIY is just the bigger moneymaker, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think too, like you got to look at it like it's still a television show, and you're still doing a television show that needs ratings, and the fans want to see this match. And if the fans want to see this match, the fans are going to get this match. Therefore, they're going to tune in next week. And then another thing too to look at, if it's one thing that the Motor City Machine Guns can come in and they're 1 win away now from being number 1 contenders. Yeah, that's a little bit of a hot shot there. But also what we saw is that development between DIY and Street Profits.
Yep.
And then we're going to see Los Garza, A-Town Down Under, and then we have Pretty Deadly. These are all heel teams. Now, how do we get these teams back in the fold in the tag team division? Well, you need babyface champions, right? So if Motor City Machine Guns are going to be that champion, or that team to dethrone the Bloodline for the tag titles, well, now they're going to be the team that helps bring out the best of Pretty Deadly, bring out the best of A-Town Down Under, bring out the best of Los Garza, and then you can circle back with DIY again. Then you can do something innovative with the Street Profits. And now all of a sudden they're the team that kind of could be now the glue to having that exciting tag team division on SmackDown, which is exactly what Nick Aldis said he brought him in for.
Right.
Yeah.
And you raised an interesting point there about Motor City Machine Guns Tech maybe being the ones to dethrone the Bloodline. Could we see maybe an alliance there for Roman and Jimmy, just maybe in a one-off?
Potentially. And another thing too, what we could see is Motor City Machine Guns maybe do something with Jimmy Uso. Maybe they do something with Jey Uso. Maybe that foreshadows a potential dream match of Shelly and Sabin versus Jimmy and Jay down the road.
Right?
Everything is on the table because in WWE now, you just can't rule anything out. As Bobby is coming in saying, definitely could see a match between Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns. So I mean, yeah, that's what we want. We wanted tag team wrestling back in WWE, and now there's 6 to 8 teams on SmackDown alone.
Right.
And then when you look over at Raw, you got, the who's who. You can do, we got the War Raiders back. You got the Judgment Day as a team. You can do stuff with just about anybody now. You have close to 14 teams on your roster now.
Yeah.
And that's just the main roster. NXT too has a stack of tag teams down there as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Then, because they're not even technically NXT anymore. Like they're just kind of roaming. So,
speaking of roaming, I think it's time we roam on out of here, guys, and give out our socials, starting with you, Mr. OMD.
Thank you. And everybody, you can catch me on my link tree, linktr.ee/OMD show.
And you, Mr. Parrish, how about you?
Well, if you're tired of all this climbing of these link trees over here, make sure you're checking out Rogue Energy and use my promo code PARISH to save 10% off. And then now that Bess has finally put in the correct graphics, you can also check out my link tree at linktr.ee/Chris Parrish, where you can find all my beautiful socials, including the ones like the YouTube, like the Facebook, like the Twitter, and like that beautiful Twitch, where you can see the Chris Parrish podcast every Sunday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We may have a returning guest come back this Sunday. We are working on that. So tune in. You never know what you can see on Sundays at 12:15 p.m.
All right, guys, and you can find me at my link tree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83. Be sure to catch me tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for some more Saturday Night Gaming. And on that note, guys, OMD, what are those famous words that we usually like to end the show on?
In the immortal words of Carl Carafel, ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Boar's Nest, good night, good luck. We out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow.
Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd.
Pressure is your best enemy. Spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack. You just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all. In the afterglow, in the afterglow. Whoa! It all started with the passion. It all sounded like a dream. Remember how you kept on laughing? Now you're trapped in your own skin. The anxiety growing.